The tow truck's winch was already singing when the countdown timer on my front door hit 00:03:12. It was an HOA-branded kitchen timer zip-tied to my doorknob like a cartoon bomb. A woman with a clipboard and a megaphone shouted through the morning air, saying that 48 hours were up. I pointed at the giant stone sign 20 feet away. It read Copperleaf Heights HOA ends here in carved letters you could see from space. My house sat on the other side of that line, firmly outside their jurisdiction. I'm Marcus Vale. I'm a quiet guy, a high school history teacher by profession, and a weekend chess club tyrant by choice. I spent 6 months house hunting specifically to avoid HOA drama. I'd heard too many horror stories from colleagues about paint color tribunals and mailbox Gestapo tactics. When I found my tidy ranch house on Wren Hollow Road, I made my realtor triple-check the property surveys. The house sat exactly 73 feet outside Copperleaf Heights boundaries. I even had an independent surveyor verify it before closing. No dues to pay, no newsletters to read, no committees named after birds to sit through, no architectural review boards judging my garden gnome choices. Life was simple and peaceful, exactly how I wanted it. Across the street, HOA President Beverly Klein ran Copperleaf like it was her own suburban Vatican. She had a sharp bob haircut and an even sharper pen, the kind of woman who probably color-coded her spice rack and reported neighbors for having their trash cans visible 3 minutes past collection time. We'd waved at each other exactly twice in neighborly acknowledgement, nothing more. I thought that was the extent of our relationship. Then one day I got a certified letter in my mailbox. It stated that I owed $10,000 for what they called non-compliant frontage, and I had exactly 48 hours to pay or Copperleaf would initiate remedies. Their remedies apparently included sending a tow truck to my driveway, planting 3 orange violation flags in my flower bed like I was some kind of zoning war zone, and installing a timer on my door that counted down like I was hosting the world's most bombastic bake-off competition. Beverly Klein escalated the situation with the enthusiasm of a mall cop who'd just been handed the keys to a tank. Certified mail started pouring into my mailbox daily, each envelope thicker than the last. One letter cited me for grass height nonconformance, claiming my lawn exceeded the maximum allowed height of 3 inches by 1/4 inch. I'd measured it myself that morning at 2.75 inches. Another complained about unauthorized mailbox curvature, arguing that my standard black mailbox had a decorative arch that violated their aesthetic guidelines. I didn't even know mailbox curvature was something a person could be cited for, let alone measured and judged. My personal favorite was the holiday neutral lighting violations notice I received in May, a full month when nobody has holiday lights up anyway. Beverly claimed my porch light's warm white bulb created an unfair holiday aesthetic advantage. She started parking her pearl white SUV directly across my driveway at 7 in the morning for what she called observing alleged infractions. She'd sit there with binoculars and a notepad, writing furiously like she was documenting a crime scene. She told my mail carrier that I was delinquent to the community and shouldn't be trusted with promotional flyers. She began slipping glossy brochures under my doormat that screamed join or pay in bold red letters. Each brochure included a dues schedule starting at $1,500 annually, plus a $7,000 initiation fee for non-members seeking integration. There was a QR code that opened a payment portal labeled Mandatory Integration Fee, complete with a countdown timer showing days until legal action. I heard whispers from neighbors that Beverly had annexed 3 streets before over the past 5 years, like she was playing HOA Manifest Destiny with the neighborhood map. Apparently she convinced 2 families to join voluntarily through sheer harassment, and another had moved away entirely to escape her. Copperleaf's Facebook page posted a blurry photo of my perfectly normal hedges with a caption that read, "Non-member flaunts rules at Copperleaf border." The comment section turned into a digital pitchfork mob complete with angry emojis and calls for action. Someone suggested I be fined daily until compliance. Another recommended reporting me to code enforcement for imaginary violations. Then Beverly crossed a line that turned her petty tyranny into an actual crime. She filed a lien against my property. Not just threatened to file one, but actually filed it at the county recorder's office with an official filing fee and everything. The paperwork came complete with notarized pages and something she called a revised plat map that looked like it had been created in Microsoft Paint by someone with a vendetta. This mysterious map had a suspicious dotted line that lassoed my parcel into Copperleaf territory like a cattle brand on a ranch. The line curved in physically impossible ways, ignoring the actual street layout and property markers. A friendly clerk at the county office named Patricia called me because she said she'd seen this movie before and it never ended well for the person filing false documents. She did some digging and discovered that the notary signature belonged to Beverly's niece, a 22-year-old college student named Madison who'd signed the documents as Deputy Compliance Officer, a title that didn't actually exist in any official capacity or legal framework. The notary stamp itself was suspicious, featuring a cartoon cat and the phrase certified super official. Beverly then sent me an email at 11:30 at night stating that Copperleaf might expedite foreclosure procedures if I didn't settle the matter within 72 hours. She copied the entire HOA board and the management company, as if creating witnesses would legitimize her threats. That's when the situation stopped being ridiculous and started being criminal. Filing a false instrument, attempted extortion, mail fraud if you wanted to add federal charges to the mix since she'd used the postal service for her threatening letters. I gathered everything I had. The threatening letters, all 47 pages of them. Screenshots of the payment portal with its fake countdown timer. The photo of that ridiculous timer zip-tied to my door. The fraudulent lien paperwork with Madison's cartoon cat notary stamp. Beverly's emails with timestamps showing her escalating desperation. I even included the Facebook post and screenshots of the comment section calling for my punishment. I packaged it all up in 3 separate folders, organized chronologically with tabs and highlights. I sent copies to the county sheriff with a formal complaint, the state attorney general's consumer protection unit with a detailed cover letter, and because Beverly loved certified mail so much, I sent the most comprehensive package to the postal inspector with a list of every threatening letter she'd sent through the mail system. The cavalry arrived wearing sensible shoes and carrying clipboards that actually mattered. A county surveyor walked the property line with professional equipment and slapped a bright orange survey stake into the ground like a referee making a final call. My lot sat beyond Copperleaf's jurisdiction, and it had been that way since 1998 according to official records. The sheriff's deputy told the tow truck operator to unhook my car immediately and warned Beverly that seizing property outside her governance wasn't a hobby she should pursue. The attorney general's investigator showed up and formally requested Copperleaf's bylaws, budget records, and all correspondence related to my case. The management company that handled Copperleaf's day-to-day operations had been copied on Beverly's threatening emails. Suddenly they discovered they had spines after all and sent an email to every homeowner in the development. The message was crystal clear. It stated that Copperleaf has no authority whatsoever over parcels outside the recorded boundaries. The tow truck drove away without my car. Beverly's megaphone went silent. The orange flags disappeared from my flower bed overnight. The emergency HOA meeting was held in the community clubhouse on a Thursday evening, where the refreshment table offered string cheese that had been sitting out too long, warm lemonade in a sweating pitcher, and enough tension to power a small city. About 60 homeowners packed into a room designed for 30, everyone whispering and speculating about what was happening. Beverly arrived with a laptop bag and a confident smile, wearing a blazer that screamed professional authority. She'd prepared a PowerPoint presentation titled Bringing the Boarders Home with what looked like 20 slides of justification. But before she could plug in her laptop and start her first slide, the Attorney General's investigator, a man named Robert Chen who looked like he'd seen every scam imaginable, plugged in his own flash drive and took control of the projector. Up on the screen came the real plat map with GPS coordinates and property pins that couldn't be argued with or redrawn with dotted lines. The boundaries were clear, certified, and recorded with the county since 1998. Then came Beverly's fraudulent lien paperwork featuring her niece Madison's signature, complete with what appeared to be glitter gel pen in purple ink and a notary stamp that had a smiling cat illustration wearing a tiny hat. The room filled with gasps from homeowners who were just learning their president had committed multiple felonies in their name and exposed the HOA to massive liability. Mr. Delgado from the cul-de-sac, a retired banker who knew fraud when he saw it, raised his hand politely and asked in a voice dripping with disbelief, "Ma'am, why does your niece's notary stamp have a cat wearing a hat on it?" The question hung in the air like a judge's gavel waiting to fall. Beverly's confident smile cracked and disappeared. The sheriff's deputy stepped forward from where he'd been standing by the door. He asked Beverly to place her clipboard down on the table. Then he arrested her for filing a false lien and attempted theft by coercion. The room erupted in applause like someone had just announced free trash service for life. Beverly's sentence came down from the court like a hammer. She had to pay full restitution for all my legal costs, which weren't cheap after hiring a real estate attorney. The judge issued a no-contact order keeping her away from me and my property. She received a 2-year ban from serving on any HOA board or community organization within the entire county. The judge also sentenced her to 300 hours of community service, specifically repainting street curbs under public works supervision. The best part? She had to do all that curb painting on my side of the boundary stake, right where everyone could see her. Beverly's face went pale as the judge read each consequence. Her mouth opened and closed, but no words came out as reality crashed down on her petty empire of manufactured authority.